Hey guys, it's been a while. I haven't uploaded a vlog in a long time. It's been about 2 weeks, I think. Um, Sorry for the long time since I haven't posted, but there is a reason. We have been busy with other things, uh, mainly our wedding that is being postponed because of the coronavirus. So we have some things we want to tell you and just update you a little bit because you guys have taken interest in the channel a little bit. So I want to keep you up to date as much as I can. And again, sorry for not posting for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so what was it like? It's called COVID-19 because it started last year, but where we live in the United States, it didn't become a big deal until like the beginning of the month, March, and we didn't really think that the coronavirus was going to be a problem for our wedding, and we didn't think it was going to be like, we didn't see a pandemic coming like this, but
no way.
It started, like, the problems with the wedding started in January, or maybe it was February, yeah. So all of my bridesmaids ordered their dresses from a website in January, and it was like mid-February, I think, and I realized, like, where are their dresses at? They should have been coming in or something. Like, it was weird that the dresses hadn't come in yet, or at least some of them, and so I looked on the website and I was like, you know what, maybe the dresses, because it's like an online store, maybe the dresses are made in China. And I looked on their frequently asked questions page, and it was like, oh, by the way, our production has ceased because of everything happening with the coronavirus in China. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was like the first freak out, and I was like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Like, we need dresses for the bridesmaids, what are they gonna wear? So we figured, okay, let's contact the company. And so all of my bridesmaids contacted the company to see what their order, how it was doing, and then we didn't hear back for a few days, I think, and they said for most of actually I think all of the bridesmaids, they said it should be there in time, you should be able to get your dress before the date of the wedding. And so it was kind of a relief, but also at the same time I kind of lost trust in the company because I don't know, it was online and I didn't know, and it was a guesstimate almost of the new delivery date. So I don't know, I was like, we need a backup just in case these dresses don't come in time. And so we spent a long time, me and all my bridesmaids and my mom and everyone, we were looking for new dresses. And we found, they're playing basketball down there.
I don't know. It sounds like they're hitting the roof with something. We live on the second floor, so our neighbors downstairs are being a little loud right now.
We found backup dresses and ordered them, and they came in I think a week. So that was the first problem. Found a solution. Everything was fine until March 13th. I think I'm gonna have PTSD from that date from here for the rest of my life, because that was the day everything started going downhill. It was suddenly that day, I think coronavirus was a big deal in the United States. Actually, I think we canceled our honeymoon before that. I think in February we canceled our honeymoon.
That was the first thing. We saw that California was one of the first places to have cases, which it makes sense. A lot of tourists go to California, and that's where we were planning on going for our honeymoon, is California. And we ended up canceling that really early on because we were like, well, we don't want to go there and then bring it back to our people. So we decided to cancel our honeymoon very, very early on.
And just because what we had planned on doing for our honeymoon was touristy things where a bunch of people would be. So it was I don't feel like, and I don't want to be trapped on a plane with like recycled air with sick people, you know. So yeah, that was like the first thing. I think that was after the dresses though, but yeah, that was like early on.
So. We had been talking about that as soon as we found out about not going there, but we didn't cancel it. It was one of the first things that we did.
And we like kind of made a backup honeymoon plan, but to like just a road trip. And we're not going to do that either.
I don't think so. No,
so
definitely not.
I think honeymoon is just completely canceled at this point. We'll figure something out later. Yeah. But anyway, back to like the March 13th story.
Rabbit holes.
Yeah. It was like the coronavirus is being spread around the United States. Like we are feeling the impacts in like where we live because the grocery stores are empty, like there's no food anywhere.
It's not the groceries though, it's just the toilet paper at this point.
True. Like you can't find toilet paper anywhere, don't ask me why. And any paper products, no paper towels.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So,
people trying to clean for the first time in their lives, obviously.
Yeah, cleaning supplies are going too. And like, you know, canned goods and pastas and stuff, like non-perishables. But yeah, so, and like places were being closed, like restaurants were closed, and
yeah, only takeout.
Yeah, takeout only, and so
the beaches are still open at that point, though.
Yeah, the beaches were open,
which was dumb.
Yeah, and then we got a lot of flack from social media about our beaches being open still, but I don't remember what kind of started this question, but I figured I should reach out to our venue, which was a country club, like in a place where there's a bunch of old people. So, and you know, like the elderly get
more sick.
Yeah,
it's easier for them to get sick.
Yeah. So, I was just like, can we even, you know, use the venue anymore? So I contacted the person we'd been speaking with at the venue, and she said she doesn't know yet, and she said she wouldn't know, and we were like 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out at that point, and like 2.5, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so we were like, we need to know. We can't have a question mark for the next few weeks, and then like 4 days before or something like that, just be like, oh no, sorry, canceled, closed, we're locked down, you know. So we started looking for backup venues, and we found like a really cute place. It was like a barn kind of like venue, but that venue didn't have, it was like not inclusive at all. So the venue we had before had like food and servers and tables and chairs and tablecloths and AC and bathrooms.
Everything.
Yeah, and so, actually before we found the new venue, we were like just gonna like rent a tent and use our...
Well, my sister, her soon-to-be sister, they have a field that they're building their house in. It's just an empty lot. We were gonna end up using that.
Yeah, that was like our first like backup plan that everyone kind of pitched in to help figure out, like your family. And so, like, his sister looked up, like rental stuff, and like while all of this was happening, like all of this stuff was crumbling. Like we were still working. Mm-hmm. I was still in school. I mean, I'm still, you know, doing school, but it was like so much going on that like we couldn't do it like ourselves. So everyone was kind of like jumping in and helping.
And it was awesome.
Yeah,
everyone came together.
Really thankful for all of that, because it was like really stressful. And
what the heck is that?
Johnny, they're playing basketball.
They're like breaking a wall down or something down there.
But
it's not like they're trying to make us quiet by hitting the roof. This is...
Well, I'm being loud.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we were like looking up rental place, but we had to find new food because we had already like picked out a menu and everything for our other venue. And and so we had like a family friend kind of thing that was gonna supply like the main meat part, and so we need to like side, so we like started looking for different places.
And keep in mind, this is like 2 weeks out after we started playing this, like exactly 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Is when we started planning all this, and yeah, that was kind of stressful.
Yeah. So, yeah, like we had to figure out like all this new stuff. I have like a whole list. We needed like utensils and napkins and plates and drinks and tables and tablecloths, and it was like so much stuff. And I mean, I was fine.
Porta potties.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And so, yeah. So when I initially found out that the venue wasn't gonna work out, I was at work, and I literally started crying at work. And one of my coworkers came over and started talking to me, and then I had to talk to like my boss like later that day, and I was just talking to her, and I finished crying at that point, but she was like, oh my gosh, what are you gonna do for bathrooms if it's gonna be like in a field, or like what are you gonna do? And I was like, oh my gosh, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, the biggest issue.
And she was
bathrooms.
like, she's like, I heard that there's like these like really nice like porta potty trailers that you could look into, and she's like, but I don't know how much they are, and I feel like they might be really expensive. So I asked his sister to look up the price difference and see like how much it would be, and it was like $1,200, almost $1,300.
$1,200 for a trailer, and then it was
like $150 or something.
$250 for a porta potty that hasn't been on a construction
like
site.
A regular porta potty, and I was just like a porta potty at our wedding. It's just...
This is where it all starts going downhill.
And so
even faster.
And so like I was really appreciative of the field idea, but like the porta potty thing freaked me out. I was like, I don't. It doesn't seem like a wedding, you know? It's
bunch of people dressed up trying to go in porta potties.
And then we'd have to rent like multiple, so there won't be a line, and it was just, I didn't like that idea at all. So my mom actually sent me a link to, because my mom was just as stressed out as I was. Like, I felt like we were just feeding each other stress. But she like she was like sending me a bunch of stuff, and she sent me one morning a link to the venue, the barn venue, and it sounded really good. It was like closed. I don't think it had AC, but it was like closed in case it rained, and there was like a concrete floor, so we wouldn't have to rent a dance floor. And that was the other thing I forgot about the field. We'd have to rent a dance floor and a tent and everything. But it had bathrooms with air conditioning in the bathrooms, and I was like, chick.
First world problems.
Sounds good.
AC bathrooms.
I'm just happy our guests wouldn't have to be in a porta potty, you know.
And I sweat a lot, so that was a big thing.
Yeah, and
AC.
like, I mean, it was beautiful. Like, it had so many oak trees, and oak trees were like what I wanted for our wedding, like, because I think they're so beautiful, and just the way the branches look in the sky. But yeah, so when we first were looking for wedding venues, like 2 years ago at this point, we looked at a place like that, and we were like, it's so beautiful, and we would really like it, but it's just like so hot, you know, like it's so hot where we live. And
the first place had the same problem as what we were going to do in the field. We had to like rent everything.
Yeah, so even like, I mean, yeah, but
it was another reason why we didn't do it outdoors.
So initially. But when we were like trying to make a backup plan, it was just like work with what you have, you know. Yeah. And we made sure that venue wasn't going to be closed with everything going on. And that was like something else. Like, we didn't want to use any big corporations because we knew that they more than likely shut down because they have a lot of people that they need to take care of. But like, if we went through like smaller local places, we knew that that's like their business, and they need that to like make money, you know, so they're less likely to close, which is kind of terrible to think about. Yeah. But we just knew that it'd probably work out better in our favor if we stuck with like local. And when we were looking for sides, we actually decided to use like Publix, because that's a grocery store and they're probably not going to close. Yeah, so I had made plans and called. Well, I had actually messaged the new venue called Publix, like ordered all of our sides. His parents were ordering the main meat from their family friend, and
all of our photographers and the photographer, they were still okay to go ahead with it. Our DJ's another family friend, and he was perfectly okay with going ahead with it. It was just the main things were getting shut down because of everything. And you can only have groups of 50 people. Oh, now it's only 10. I'm not sure what it is now. I'm just stay home at this point, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, like, while all of this was happening, I was like, oh my gosh, we should think about wedding insurance because we've spent thousands of dollars on this, and we're going to be spending thousands more if we're doing all of this new backup stuff. So I want to make sure that our money is not just going to be like gone, you know? So I started looking into backup or wedding insurance, and I looked on a few places, and there was like one that was really recommended by a lot of people, and they stopped giving out wedding cancellation insurance because the way insurance works, like if you know something's going to happen, like if you know you're sick, you can't get health insurance, you know? So it's the same concept. Like if you know a pandemic's coming that could cancel your wedding, you can't get wedding insurance. So I was like, great. So now we're going to lose all our money. And, you know, so that was another thing that I was like freaking out about. And then, and it just felt like every day there was something new to be worried about, to like have to change a new backup, you know, add a back, figure out something else for something, you know. And
something breaks, and then you fix it, and then the next day something else breaks, and then you end up fixing it.
And so it was like one of our vendors was like, I don't know if I want to come, and we were like, oh my gosh, well, we were like really hoping that you'd be one of them that wouldn't do that. So we found backups just in case, and we had like 2 on hand, and so we were like good in that situation. But then last Friday, which was like, so I think that last one was a Thursday, and then last Friday,
this is the big one.
The groomsmen were supposed to go get like the final fitting or something. Final
fitting
to make sure that, because the last time we went, it was like a year ago or something. It was like, what was it?
It was 6 or 7 months before.
It was a while ago that we went initially and had them all sized. So they needed to go back and get sized to make sure that their sizes didn't change. And the place where the guys were getting their suits from just didn't, they just closed, and they didn't tell us about their closing. And so they were supposed to go get fitted, and they completely closed and they didn't tell us. And it was like really frustrating because it felt like in my email, since all of this had started, I had gotten emails from all these companies. Like every company I've ever given my email to was like, oh, by the way, this is how we're dealing with the coronavirus. And this one was just like completely closed, didn't call or tell us at all. And we have an event coming up in like 2 weeks at this point, and it was just like, I don't know, I felt bad that they were not able to, and so that was just like a whole new thing. Like, what are they gonna wear? We have 2 weeks. Can you rent something from somewhere for from 2 weeks from now? You know, it's like, what do we do? And so we did end up finding a local place that would be able to do it, and she was really sweet. And she was like really understanding because the other place had really messed up everyone's plans, and so they were going to her.
Multiple weddings, just not.
Yeah, not just
ours. This was a big corporation.
Yeah, and so we were gonna use her, or we figured we could go to like a big place, you know, just buy like a button down or something, and some pants for you guys. But yeah, and so when he texted me and told me that it was closed, I think you might have called me actually.
I called you.
But you were like, don't freak out. And I was like, oh my gosh, now what? Because it was like every single day something else happened. And
literally every day.
He told me like, okay, don't freak out, but we can't go get sized because that place closed. And we were like, well, I mean, I was like, I was like in game mode, you know? It was like, okay, well, let's find something else. Or like asked my sister to look something up, and I was like looking up things myself, and I was like, oh great, here's a place, and I called, and she was open, she was gonna stay open, and I was like, okay, perfect. And I didn't tell you this, but I was like, okay, good. And then I was thinking, I don't think anything else could go wrong. Like, I think we've checked all of our boxes. The only thing that could go wrong is like if the government closed our entire state. Like, we cannot operate anymore. You must stay home for the next, whatever, like 7 months, I don't know. And so, I don't know, a few weeks, I don't know. But I was just like, nothing else could go wrong, and I don't see how anything else could go wrong. Also, we had contacted all of our guests when we figured out that our venue couldn't work anymore, our original venue. And so we contacted all of our guests and said, we really understand that this is a hard decision to make, and we have thought about it a lot, but we decided to continue with the wedding at that point, and we want to make you know that we want you to put your health first, and we understand that this is a really hard situation, but we need to know if you still plan on coming, because we need a new head count, because plans are changing. And we made sure our guests knew, like, we care about their health, and they should decide if they want to come themselves, and we don't want to make that decision for them. So yeah, and then the men's wear, the suits thing happened, and so I was like, I was ready to go. Like, I was like, okay, fine. After that, like, there's nothing else that could happen except being, like, closed legally, and not being able to, like, leave our house to go get married, you know? So he called me at work and said, I think we should talk, or I think he texted, I don't know.
No, I definitely called you.
He said, I think we should talk, and I was like, oh, great. I know exactly what he's gonna say. He's gonna say, we should cancel the wedding. And I was like, how dare you? Because I just had like a meltdown. And
well, the reason being is now at this point, everything we had originally planned and everything that we were ready to go with is completely changed. We're not at the same venue. Her dresses that she loved for her bridesmaids are not coming in. The suits, we couldn't get them. The ones that we had picked out like a year ago, we couldn't get. And it just all started falling apart. And I didn't want to do this, and neither did she, but we just decided to just postpone it. It took a long time to come to that conclusion, though.
Yeah.
It was not a 5-minute discussion. It was like an hour.
I think it was more than that. But like, initially when you told me that you needed to talk and I knew what you wanted to talk about, I was so upset. I was like, I know what he's gonna say.
We both were.
Like, we have been together for 5.5 years. We've been engaged for almost 2 years, you know, and I was like
we're just ready to get married.
Yeah, like, I want to be married, you know, at this point, and it's like, we are 2 weeks away, and to have something you've been planning for 2 years, like, crumble right before your eyes and completely fall apart 2 weeks away because of something you can't control, because of something that's going to affect everyone. It's like, it was so hard to accept.
Today's 1 week until what our wedding would be.
Yeah, and so
we've kind of just accepted it at this point.
But when I was driving over, so we could talk about it, I realized that because you were holding in how you were feeling, I knew I was a mess while everything was getting canceled and making.
I don't like to show her my emotions about stuff like that very much.
I could tell you were so upset about it.
Oh my gosh.
And I realized, you know, I shouldn't be forcing this. It's not just my wedding, it's both of our wedding, like us getting married, and I shouldn't have to make him go through all of this crazy stress, and it's really hurting him. And
I was just trying to do my best to be there for her, to help be the support.
And so, like, when we were talking about it, like, everything that I had been feeling for, like, the last week and a half was, like, coming out of him finally. And I was just like, yeah, I get it, because I just did all this and you've been holding it in. But, yeah, we decided after a long time, a lot of crying.
Both ends, a lot of crying with both of us.
Yeah, we decided we should probably just postpone.
It was a very hard thing to do.
And it was a really hard thing to do because we wanted to be married, you know? And so...
Gives me more time to lose weight.
And so, yeah, now it's going to be like a few more months, 6, 7, I don't know. It's going to be a while. We were hoping in 6 or 7 months, all of this will be over. We're really hoping.
Fingers crossed, people.
We didn't want to, like, reschedule for, like, 2 months from now and have it still be a problem, so we're hoping a longer wait period
It's going to be hard.
will, yeah, fix all this crazy world stuff, so.
All right, that it?
Yep, that's the story.
That's the story, people. You heard it here first.
We've had so many people asking about it, and
having a YouTube channel, this is the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, I feel like I've told that story like 18 times now.
Oh no, what happened? Oh, here, just let me send you this link and now you can watch it.
Yeah, and so we already like let all of our guests know that it's been postponed, and we don't really know when now or what's going on. We don't know.
Hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, so.
Well, thanks for, if you're still watching at this point, this video is going to be like 20 minutes long. Thank you. I'm not even going to ask you guys to subscribe on this one, but go ahead and leave a like. And we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.